guys, welcome back to my channel. In this video I am going to show you guys which products have been staples into my skincare and makeup routine. In this video particularly I will be talking about my favorite Korean, Japanese, and just Asian in general beauty products. So let's start with skincare. In skincare I have these Shiseido products. I got these in a kit a few months ago, and these are travel sizes, and honestly I've been loving them ever since I got them. This one is the Shiseido Pureness Deep Cleansing Foam, and this kit specifically that I am using was for oily skin. They have different ones for like mature skin, dry skin, dull skin, and stuff like that, but the one I have, as I said, is for oily skin. This cleanser is so good. It's probably one of my favorite cleansers I've ever used ever. It is a foaming cleanser, and you really don't need a lot to use. Like, you really need a pea-sized amount and it will foam really nicely, especially if you have maybe like a dofa or something like that, or actually it would be perfect if you had something like a Clarisonic, or I think even like Vanity Planet has a Clarisonic dupe. It foams up really nicely, and I feel like it really does deep cleanse, and it does penetrate deeply into the pores. But at the same time, it is a deep cleanser, but I find that it doesn't like strip your skin completely from like your natural like oils or the natural humectants that you have in your skin. Compared to other cleansers I've tried, other deep cleansers I've tried in the past, they would like make my skin feel really tight and dry afterwards. So with this one it doesn't really happen, and I'm really glad I found this cleanser. And as you can see, I'm like, this is all I have left, like right here. I think you can see it in the camera. This is like right here is all I have left, and this lasted me like months. It really will last you a while. And this one, it is a 75 milliliters format, which is not a lot, but for honestly the amount you need, it will last you a really long time. Next, I have the Shiseido Pureness Balancing Softener, and this one is alcohol free. This is basically a toner, so this is what I would use to follow up my cleanser. I forgot to say that the scent on these, they do have a light scent, but they're not overwhelming or like really like those kind of scents that when they linger. They don't linger, they just have the nice subtle scent that I actually find quite nice and relaxing. When you unscrew the cap, you have a dispenser that has a little hole like this. And honestly, you could, sometimes I like to pour it directly in my hand. It doesn't like pour out like it doesn't pour out a huge amount, because you can control a little bit. Well, you can sort of control the amount, so I kind of like sometimes dispense it a little bit in my hand. And what I like to do when I really want it to soak into my skin is to like pat it into my face, or if I want to like make sure that I get rid of first any like remaining traces of cleanser, or maybe something that the cleanser didn't manage to take out, I would use a round cotton pad and put it on there, and then kind of like gently wipe it across my face. And this, I feel like it's balancing. It is really balancing for the skin. I find that it does balance the skin, and it does put back a little bit of moisture already, because honestly I think for the past year or so I've been into toners that do not contain alcohol, because even though I have oily skin, there's this belief that with oily skin you need to like take out oil, and you really need to like strip it all out of your skin. But that's really not the case. It's always good to keep your face moisturized, and even with a little bit of oil is still fine, because the more you strip your skin out, the more your skin freaks out because it feels like there's a lack of moisture, so it just pumps out more oil to compensate for the dryness of the skin. So that's why I have been into alcohol-free toners and toners that specifically start putting back a little bit of moisture into the skin. I find that with toner, it's already the first step for skincare and moisturizing sometimes even, because some toners like this one or other toners that you can find in the Asian market are marketed to start moisturizing the skin right after you cleanse it. So this is why I loved this toner specifically. There's a few also on the Western market, but I have two of them, which I am keeping for a separate video that I want to make on my Western favorite skincare and beauty products. So if you would like to see that video, definitely let me know in the comment section down below and I will make a video for that. So yeah, this has definitely been a favorite of mine. The next product I'm going to talk about is still from the Shiseido kit that I got a few months back. This one is the Pureness Mattifying Moisturizer, and this is oil free. Now all these three products have in common this light scent. It is really nice. It's a very, very subtle clean scent. And also this one, it comes with kind of like a little dispenser. It's not like completely open. So what I do is kind of like tap it in the back, on the back of my hand, and I don't know if you can see. And it is kind of runny, and it does really absorb nicely. It almost feels like water when you start rubbing it into the skin. It feels like a little bit thicker than water, and it does not leave that greasy residue. Me personally, having very oily skin, I tend to avoid anything that is really heavy or thick because I find those kind of products more suitable for people with dry skin. And I find also that my pores tend to clog really easily. So since I don't want my pores to clog, I tend to use more like gel, more liquidy formulas for when it comes to my skincare. And this moisturizer is perfect. It has absorbed completely into my skin, and it doesn't leave that sticky or like greasy residue that often a lot of moisturizers can leave behind. And I honestly really love it. One thing I want to point out, it might not be like mattifying per se, but it definitely does not add on to the oiliness that you may it does not add on to the oiliness that you might already experience. A little bit of this one, just like the cleanser, a little bit goes a long way. You really need just a dime size amount of this for your whole face, just like the cleanser. The cleanser, maybe even a pea size amount. It's really, and I really like products like these where you don't need to use a lot for them to be effective. The last product that was in my Shiseido kit was this one. This one is actually my first empty of this video. This one is the Shiseido Ultimune Power Infusing Concentrate. Now this is not specifically for oily skin. This is for every skin type. It's suitable for every skin type. You can be dry, oily, normal, combo. This serum is supposed to infuse your skin with antioxidants and any kind of like beneficial ingredients for your skin. Now me personally, when I tried it, at first it doesn't look like you can see a lot of difference, but I will say after the first week or two, I could feel that my skin was plumper. I would feel that my skin looked a little bit more radiant without me have to apply anything to make it look radiant, if that makes sense. So my skin tone can be kind of dull sometimes, and with this one I really did experience a difference. This may look like very small, because even myself when I got it, I was like, okay, this is gonna last me like a week at most. This lasted me, I would say, a month, because you really don't need a lot, and there's actually like a little bit left in it. I don't know if you can see. here, but it won't come out. There's just a little bit. There's just got stuck to the bottle. How much is this? This is 10 milliliters. But as I said, don't need to use a lot. A little bit goes a long way. Next skincare product is this. Actually, it's another Empty. This is the Benton Snail Bee High Content Essence. Now, Essence is not a product that it's really common in the Western market as much as it is in the Asian market. This is the first product I used when I was trying essences, because at first I was kind of confused of what an essence was. Basically, it's kind of like a very lightweight moisturizer, but a moisturizer that is packed with beneficial ingredients for the skin. This one in particular, I'm gonna read what is said on the bottle here. It says it's for all skin types, including sensitive and troubled skin types. Instead of water, snail secretion filtrate is used. This high-content essence uses bee venom, EGF, and various botanical-based natural ingredients to help improve your rough and damaged skin from various stress and pollution. In addition to the troubled skincare, cooling effect, moisturizing, and skin lifting improvement, this all-in-one functional multi-care cosmetic has functional ingredients such as arbutin and adenosine, which helps whitening your skin and remove wrinkles. Now, I want to point out, when Asian products say whitening, it's not necessarily mean like it's gonna bleach your skin, but it's supposed to give that kind of like brightening effect and help fade hyperpigmentation if you have, say, acne or blemish scars, or if you have like uneven skin tone. That's what like they mean by whitening. I've heard that arbutin is an ingredient that is supposed to help fade hyperpigmentation. It's a brightener, that's what it is basically. This one I actually used whenever my skin would feel pretty sensitive, or whenever I was having like pimples or stuff like that, because I find that the snail secretion filtrate, like, it sounds kind of gross now that I think about it. It's like ew, like snail slime, like what is that? It does sound kind of gross, but it's nothing. It doesn't smell like anything. It doesn't really have a scent, and it has kind of like the consistency of aloe gel. If you ever like got to see what aloe gel looks like, that's sort of the consistency, maybe a little bit more liquidy. And it doesn't have a scent at all. And this snail filtrate is supposed to help with the cell turnover, so it's supposed to like help the skin repair itself whenever you have pimples or breakouts and stuff like that. So, and it actually did help a lot whenever I had breakouts, because I do get breakouts especially on my cheeks here, in my cheeks, and sometimes even on my chin. That's where I tend to break out the most. And when I do get breakouts and I would use this, it would calm my skin, because whenever it would be irritated, I would apply this at night, or sometimes even during the day. You can literally apply this whenever you want, and it would calm down my skin and would like tone down the irritation, and eventually would even help the skin heal itself a little bit faster, which is why I love this, and I'm pretty sure I'm going to repurchase this pretty soon. The next product I want to talk about is the Pure Vitamin C 21.5 Advanced Serum. This one I got off of Wish Trend. By the way, all the products I got will be linked in the description down below, so that if you're interested, you can go check them out for yourself. And yeah, I got this off of Wish Trend. Now, this one in particular is supposed to have a higher content of vitamin C that is supposed to make the serum more effective with the brightening process. I got this because I have hyperpigmentation on my cheeks because of blemish scars. I don't have acne, but I do get blemishes just from time to time. And since I cannot keep my fingers to myself, I sometimes like find myself like picking at them, and that's why they leave scars behind. So that's why I got the serum off. This actually finished. It's empty, and it's convenient because it comes with a little dropper dispenser, and the serum itself is clear, and they suggest to keep this in the fridge, which is what I did. I kept it in its box in the fridge because if you keep it in a warm or exposed to the sun, it might affect, I think it affects the vitamin C, and it might make it less effective. Also, you may start, whenever it starts turning a yellow orangey color, that's also when the product might not be good as effective anymore, because the clearer it is, the better it's supposed to, the more effective it's supposed to be, I think. I'm not 100% sure, but I did realize that towards the end, when I was about to finish, it was turning a yellowish color. So I would suggest, as they actually do suggest on the box, to keep it in the fridge. And it's also better, especially in the summer, it would feel nice because it's more refreshing on the skin, and it does have that cooling effect. So actually, one thing I would say is, I would suggest to just use this at night, and the next day put sunscreen on, because vitamin C does make the skin more sensitive to sun rays, and you also don't want to go out in the sun without sunscreen, because the sun will pretty much cancel out the brightening effect of the vitamin C, since the sun will help maintain the pigmentation on the skin, if that makes sense. Just like you would go out in the sun and tan, the sun would prevent the scars from fading. So definitely use this at night, or a night only if your skin is really sensitive, and the next day before going out, put on sunscreen. Speaking of sunscreen, this is my favorite sunscreen so far. This is the BRA or BioRay, I'm not sure how you pronounce it, UV Aqua Rich Watery Gel. This is SPF 50 plus and PA quadruple plus. This is a 90 milliliters format, and this will last you so long. I don't know if I can see. I have this much left, and I've had this for months, because I'm gonna show you, you really don't need a lot. I feel like that's what I've been saying for like the whole video, but you really don't need a lot. And I do tend to favor or seek out products that you don't need a lot to, you don't need to apply a lot for them to work. As you can see, it comes with a little like dispenser, like a little tip here, and it is white straight out of the bottle. And it is pretty liquidy. It is a watery gel as they describe, but it does not leave that white cast, that annoying white cast that on dark skins like mine may make you look gray or ashy. Even on, and honestly, on any skin tone, it doesn't look nice unless you're really pale. But as you can see, it is absorbing nicely into the skin, and it is white at first, as you saw, but the more you massage it into the skin, until like when it's completely absorbed into the skin, it does not leave a white cast. You can barely see it even now. You can only see it because of the moisturizer and everything, because my hand is moisturized and this one is not. You don't see any kind of reflection, but on this one you do see a reflection because my hand is moisturized. Because if I hold my hand like this, you don't see a white cast at all. My hands look the same. So yeah, I really like this moisturizer, and it has SPF PA quadruple plus, which is also really nice. I will put somewhere on the screen what's the difference between SPF and PA, and I feel the higher the PA factor, and the more protection it gives against those bad sun rays. The last skincare product I want to mention is the Face Shop Seaweed Moisturizing Pack. This one came in a little kit that I got as a gift from a friend. It was this with 2 other products, but this one out of the 3 was definitely my favorite. This one is, I use it as the last step of my skincare routine at night, and I don't use this every night. I use this whenever my skin is particularly dry, or if I've exfoliated, because I do exfoliate, and whenever I exfoliate, I make sure that my skin is extra moisturized so that it doesn't, so that I put back the moisture into the skin after being a little bit rough on it, if that makes sense. This one is really nice and so deeply moisturizing. I feel like this one is another gel consistency moisturizer. I'm going to show you on this hand here. Here it is on my hand here, and it does not. Don't let the name Seaweed throw you off like the snail essence one. It does have a scent, but it doesn't smell bad or anything like that. It has kind of like a clean, like slightly soapy scent. And this one, they say to apply a thin layer. You don't need a lot. As you can see, like the two little dots I had on the back of my hand are like have covered completely the back of my hand, and it is really watery. It absorbs really nicely into the skin, and I feel like it does penetrate deep into the skin. And the next day, whenever I use this, I wake up with like the softest skin I have experienced in a while, and it does leave the skin very moisturized, and it looks plumper, and actually it gives, the next day you do look a little bit dewy, but not dewy in a greasy way, dewy and more in like a radiant kind of way, because your skin is so nicely moisturized. Even right now you can see already like a little bit of a glow, which is really nice. I really do like this moisturizer. And I don't use it every single day, but if you do have dry skin, definitely use it like every other day. Personally, I used it maybe like twice a week or something like that.